Press the key button. Put that in my pocket.
This, and I put it.
Yeah, put that in your pocket too. Kill switch in neutral. Oh, it sounds good. Oh, y'all gotta hear that. Hold on. See if the GoPro picks it up better right here. That is nice. Woo!
YouTube video. You need a mom in the background.
Put a picture of my feet in it. Picture of my feet.
There we go.
And then back to the bike. Good job, buddy.
What's up, guys? Dan here with Dadbod Bikers. We're going to do this audio so you don't have to listen to the wind while we're riding. This is to go over the Lifan KPT 400. And
Have we decided that it's Lifan or Lifan? We still haven't.
So
my probably ask somebody.
My girl says that it should be Lifan because in Chinese, Li is Li. Li.
But technically the company is American. Lifan. So
I like Lifan.
I'm with Lifan.
I'm with Lifan. Anyway. So this video is going to be us first rides. It's going to have some footage of Kyle. Going to have some footage of me. Kyle's on the white bike. I'm on the gray and yellow bike. And we're going to go through what we like, don't like. And I think it's going to be, I think you guys are going to be very impressed with this bike.
Compared to the KPX 250, I think this is a different world. So that's what we're coming from.
Yeah.
But if you're coming from a bigger adventure bike, I think honestly we had later on we'll maybe talk about it a little more, but we had a buddy that has a Triumph Tiger 1300 that rode this and said it is easily the best bang for the buck and even outpaced the Ibex 800 from CF Moto, which costs more.
He was super impressed. He was like, man, we're going to have to, he just got to ride around the neighborhood, but he's like, man, I got to take this out. I was like, well, we'll plan a time for that. So pulling away, I mean, I guess first initial after starting it up, what was cool, it came with a 10W40. It didn't have shipping oil in it. It was actually...
Correct. It came with enough coolant.
Yep, enough coolant, enough oil. So literally we just had to add gas. Mm-hmm. Put gas in, started right up. My check engine light was off within 30 seconds. It's got TPSM.
Take one lap around your neighborhood and your check engine light comes off and your TPMS learns itself.
Yep, so that came super quick. And first gear, I mean the gears and the clutch very solid, not like the clunky. I don't know how clunky, but it just felt stiff and solid.
The levers aren't cheap. It's still a cable operated clutch, but it is very nice. There's no wiggle room in it at all, like you get on the cheaper bikes. Yeah,
feels smooth. So shifting it into first was super easy. I think initially trying to find neutral was a little bit tough, but I mean that was just
like any bike, you're gonna break in a transmission too.
Yeah. First gear was peppy, and man, this bike sounds good. I don't know how to explain it, and I don't know if video will do it justice. But
it's
once
throaty
you see it,
and deep is the best way to describe it.
It doesn't have a drone, but it just sounds nice. So first to second gear is all the gears is crisp, and the throttle between 0 to 2,000, I wouldn't say it's jerky or anything, but it's definitely I don't want to say lag, but it's
hard to drive it slow.
Yes.
At the low RPM.
It wants to go. Anything above 2,000 RPM, it was good. And anything past 4,000, I mean, it just blips. I mean, it was awesome. It's definitely not a rocket ship by any means. You know what I'm saying? It's not a Hayabusa, but in comparison.
It has pull like a sport bike.
It has pull like a sport bike. I was telling Kyle riding it, reminded me when we went to the what do you call that over at Road Atlanta where they do the road races and you watch the GT cars. It felt like that flipping through the gears on it. It felt smooth, tight, and when you hit the shift just right, it was nice.
Yeah, and it's a twin, so this thing revs out. So I mean, you're watching some footage now, but I'll put in at least 1 or 2 of the times where I pulled it, and I didn't pull it past red line. I pulled it like 2 red lines because I couldn't help myself.
Which under manual does say to keep it lower, 60%.
60%.
And we'll say that we did that.
I think I just lost my warranty. Okay, so we talked about shifting. We talked about the gears. We talked about the sound, the acceleration. On the highway. So we went on the interstate. So boom, here's some interstate.
I mean, it up to speed, easy. 6 gear. The only thing that it was super windy today too, and we had a bunch of traffic, so it's hard
We
to
have
like
tornadoes coming
yeah.
tonight, and we were out on the interstate on these bikes.
We said we had to try it out. We got to 90 without even trying. The only thing I would say, just from the brief few minutes that we were doing it, I feel like we could get either a gear something to drop it down a little bit. Feels like if you had another gear.
I think almost maybe this is a sprocket change.
Yeah,
maybe because we have more than enough RPM.
100%.
Right?
I mean, even at 90, it still had more RPM, but you're getting up close to your, I want to say probably 9,000 RPM, and Redline's 10 to 12, somewhere in there.
And speaking of, pretty much every 10 miles per hour, you're off 1 mile per hour. So at 50, we were seeing it off about 5. At 60, it was off about 6. By the time we were up at what our bike said, 95, we were going like 87.
80, yeah. Which is still, I mean, look, over the KPX 250s, they definitely feel a lot better on the interstate. A lot more solid. It's
wind
comfortable.
protection.
Yeah, wind protection. We put the what do you call them? The windshields all the way up.
Yep.
And that helped deflect the air. The seat and the sitting position on this bike, you can actually flat. I mean, it's low. The low center of gravity.
31.5 inches. That's lower than most bikes on the market.
Most short people could probably fit on this
Yes.
bike and flat-footed still. So we're flat-footed. Going into corners, it reminded me of my Hayabusa. It allowed you to feel more confident going into the corners and tucking. Versus,
it turns like a sport bike.
It turns like 100%.
It doesn't turn like a high-centered dual sport, which, I mean, we know it's not, but that's what we're coming from, so that's our point of view in this.
I liked it. I felt a lot more comfortable going into corners at high rates of speed.
Yeah.
And
what do you think of the seat?
The seat, definitely so much better than the KPX. KPX, again, we're comparing apples and oranges, but it is much more comfortable. It has more space for your butt to actually sit on it. You're lower. My caucus doesn't hurt right now.
And we rode, I didn't even look at the mileage. We probably rode 50 miles.
Yeah, probably 50, 55 miles. The hand position is fantastic. I don't feel like I'm putting any pressure on my wrist, which getting older, that sucks. So.
All right, braking and handling. So
braking, dude, you can attest. I didn't lock it up, but
so I didn't purposely. The first time I downshifted hard enough, which would have kind of locked up the rear tire while I was on the brake, and I felt my rear brake pedal go down, knowing that the ABS was working in the rear. And then coming into the neighborhood at the very end of the day, I just went in hot and just
jammed it.
Leaned on both brakes, and it will not lock up the tires. Which again, off-road, we maybe need a kill switch for that, right? Because you want to be able to lock up your rear tire off-road. But for on-road, amazing.
Yeah.
Could end up saving you for not locking up
100%.
a front tire.
I was very comfortable with jamming on the brakes and knowing we were going to be able to stop.
All right, we haven't done off-road yet, so we're talking about it.
I stopped in some gravel and got going in the gravel. I felt like it did good, but yeah, no, we haven't done any like serious.
We've ridden around in the grass in my yard. It's definitely a heavier bike, but it's a lower center of gravity. So actually what Dan's friend said when he was checking out the bike is the weight only matters when you have to pick it up.
Yeah.
As long as you're upright, it can actually help you out.
100%. I
agree
would agree with that.
You've got the power that can help us out that we didn't necessarily have for, climbing hills and stuff. It does have dual sport tires, so I think it will be, or 50/50 tires. So it should be better because of that. Some adventure bikes out there come with street tires, or they put street tires, and that's just awful when you can't get any traction. So we'll take them to the farm.
Yeah, take it out to the farm, try it out on the trails. I mean, on the road, I felt very confident going 60 into a hard hairpin corner that said you should be going 25, 30. So that was fantastic. I mean, look, to just wrap this all up in a nutshell, I don't think you can go wrong with this bike for the price point that it was at, over what we were at. Now, again, depending on what you're trying to do, if you want brand new, out of the box. So
let's just, you're looking at around 3,000 versus around 6,000 to go from the KPX 250 to this. So different places are listing at around $5,700, $5,800.
Right.
You're going to register it. It's going to hit you for whatever that tax rate is. But honestly, it's easily worth that, because if you go out and try to compare this to other similar adventure bikes, even, like the KLR 650, while it may be like an MSRP of a certain amount, you add $1,500 because you're at a dealership.
Right.
You don't have to pay that. All you're paying is your tax and your tag title.
That's it. I did not expect to like it as much as
Dan was not 100% on board. I convinced him to buy it, and I let him get the cooler color, the gray.
Yeah, I wanted the gray.
So I let him get the cooler color, and when he first heard it, I think he immediately changed his mind, because it cranks up, and it sounds about like a 600 with a very tasteful exhaust. That's the other thing we're saying. It's tasteful. It's not obnoxious.
That's not
I don't know
obnoxious.
how the video is going to pick it up.
Yeah. It doesn't have the drone. You know how some bikes have that weird, annoying drone, but it's loud enough that like when he comes up on either side of me, I know he's coming, which is nice. So it's loud enough that I think cars would hear you as well.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? So would you do it again, and are you keeping your KPX?
Definitely do it again. I would 100% do this again. I would definitely recommend this to anyone that's looking for a bike that, I don't want to say it's expendable at the price point, but at least I wouldn't feel as bad if I crashed it and wrecked it.
Well, it has crash bars.
Right, it has crash
it has
bars.
a skid plate.
It has skid
It
plate.
has luggage, so when you lay it over, you're probably damaging
I still think
luggage.
the skid plate should go over the oil filter, but I mean, maybe that's just me.
I think, well, then you'd have to move it to get the oil filter. So that is, okay, so here's the flaws.
So I guess that's a positive and a negative.
So we got the few cons we've seen is the oil filter is in an awkward spot.
Yeah.
Not going to be able to change the oil when it's hot.
Yeah.
Because it's right in between the headers.
Yeah.
The skid plate's a little thin, but I think it'll do its job.
I think it'll do its job.
I'm trying to think. I don't really. The app for the dash is not out yet, so we can't do the full nav on the dash. So
Right,
we're
it's very
talking
limited
with
right now.
Lifan about that to see if they can get that for us. So we'll put that news out as soon as it happens. So right now, all I can do is hang up and pick up a call from the dash into my headset.
Yeah, and we can adjust from mile per hour to kilometer if you're up north or
pretty
something.
much it.
Why would you want? But yeah, I think the other thing that I would say with anything that you buy, probably from overseas, is the instructions are
non-existent.
There's a picture.
We love you, Lifan.
Yeah, but you know what we're going to do to help you out is that we're going to take some short videos to show you quick and easy. Hey, here's how you put it together. Instead of, you don't need to watch 20 minutes. We'll do a quick 5-minute boom, put this here, hit this here, and I think that'll help out everybody.
We purposely left Dan's luggage off, so we'll go over just the luggage. The hand guards are, I think, covered in mine, but we're going to make sure we got it right because, again, we did it without instructions, so we just kind of put stuff together the way it worked. I don't think we found anything major except maybe using the wrong screw in one spot, but that's
we found a shouldered bolt versus a non-shouldered.
And the dog's coming over to with us. But yeah, other than that, it's a good bike. If you've already bought one, be excited. Hope you get it soon. We've only got 50 miles, so we'll do this.
Yes, it's all on road today.
So this is us putting them away, and we'll talk to you soon. So like, subscribe, and leave some comments about questions. We're up for making videos about anything you can think of about this bike.
Yeah, hit us up if you have questions. I know it said that it had like a keyless remote that was supposed to remote start. We haven't figured that out. We
pressed all the buttons.
Yeah, we pressed all the buttons. Haven't figured them out. Maybe there's some sort of like a back forward, back up, like Mortal Kombat or something. Yeah. So, but yeah, like, subscribe, and let us know what you guys want to see, and we'll put some more content out.
All right, thanks guys. Later.
All right, see you next time.
An interview, Dan. What do you think? You put like 40 miles on this thing.
I like it. I like the sound. I like the power.
Mm-hmm. ABS.
Yeah, I like the ABS. I mean, everything's crisp.
And you're still riding naked.
Yeah.
Life short.
Yeah. A neighbor with the Triumph 1300, he just took it out and said it was awesome. Couldn't believe how
He said it beats the Ibex 800 from CF Moto, so costs less, right? All right, when you pull out, I'll record your sound. So, there we go. I like it. All right, take off. Give me like 5,000 RPM in first gear. Nice. All right, I'll be there in a sec.